monster.
Hey guys, Klunga here, and today we are watching HalfDragon pull out his FV4202 Tier 10 British medium tank, still here on console. Fantastic, fantastic. Don't know if his name is a little bit of a Dungeons and Dragons reference, or who knows what it is, but he is on the PlayStation 4, and he's on this map. This is Live Oaks. Team Destruction, and I rather enjoy Team Destruction on this map. How I find this map, actually standard battle is pretty good too, especially from his spawn he's coming from. The north spawn is pretty good, because if you go towards the railroads, which he is doing, and you lose this town, you can actually use your gun depression to very easily reset the base and stay fairly safe from enemy fire and rack up some damage. I've had some really good games on this map with my Patton and my M60 and all those, and the Chisel even. And the FV4202, I recently had a really good game on this map. Just like this, nowhere near as good as this one, but you tend to rack up some damage on this map if you play it well and your team loses the other map, as long as everything goes well, or the other side of the map. And he's got 4 guys going north, which is good for him if he's going to be paying attention to his mini-map. Because of that, he may be able to, you know, once his team loses the town, to get some nice easy shots on those guys, as long as he's paying attention. But anyway, right off the bat, he puts a shell in the lower plate of the M103. He looked like he was actually aiming for his side armor, but the shell went low into his lower plate and penned him anyway. The M103 is stock, so he doesn't really have much of a hope to penetrate the FV4202 unless he hits him in the very, very lower plate, which is pretty much impossible at this angle. But the FV4202 has a fantastic 105 gun. It's the NATO 105, the L7 Royal Ordnance, I believe is what it is called. And so it's got the 286 millimeters of standard APCR penetration, and unlike the other 105s, this fires HESH as its premium with 210 millimeters of HE penetration. 210 on HE with 485 alpha damage, which can really rack up your damage. Your DPM just goes through the roof. I'm pretty sure that's the best DPM in the game. I think it goes above 4,000. Well above 4,000 actually, and yeah, you're like, oh, but if you load HE in like the Tortoise, you know, you have DPM 2. Yes, but this is the most usable DPM. You can actually use this DPM because 210 is actually usable. Now, he had a shot on the M103 fired at his turret, and he missed. And as soon as he misses, or should I say bounces, as soon as he bounces, the guy goes side on in front of him. And then there's a car in the way, so he decides to auto-lock through it, and he's unable to get any damage on him. And then he's got a nice, easy tracking shot on the Carnarvon, but the shell doesn't go where he wants it. But that one got a little bit of a tougher shot there, as he doesn't completely fully aim this time into the smaller lower plate instead of the bigger side profile, and it actually goes straight. And that's just RNG for you, nothing you can do. But our hero HalfDragon is actually paying attention to his minimap, and he's noticed that exactly what we had predicted or mentioned is happening. He loads up his HESH shell. He's going to be going after the Grill 15 now for 481. I don't know if this was during loaded dice or not, but his rolls are fairly consistent right now. And that's the thing I've noticed with this gun, is when you're firing your HESH, you never seem to high roll. 477, yeah, very consistent rolls. Speaking of loaded dice, I decided just to mention this. I was watching a stream, a console stream, and they were talking about loaded dice, and there were a couple of Unicums, and I've never it was quite interesting. They were blaming loaded dice event for their poorly aimed shots. It was hilarious. One of them hit the tracks of a Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Yeah, 397. This must be during loaded dice, because these are very consistent rolls. And shot underneath his tank because of it. Never actually hit the hull. And then he blamed the loaded dice for the bounce. He's like, you didn't bounce, you missed. It's pretty funny. And then the comment section, another Unicum in there was commenting saying, says, loaded dice event. It makes 500 W8 players perform like Unicums, and Unicums perform like 500 W8 players. Like, what? That's, the thing about loaded dice is you have no excuse. The reason Super Unicums, or Unicums should I say, don't like loaded dice is because now they have no excuse when they bounce a shot. Because if you bounce a shot in loaded dice, it's your own fault. You missed. Your penetration does not drop. There is no RNG involved. And yeah, so if you're bouncing or missing shots, well, if you're missing shot, you know, maybe it's not your fault. But if you're bouncing shots off of plates that you aimed for, it's your own fault. Simple as that. But here comes the standard B. He's going to go for his tracks. And the shell goes a little high into his upper plate instead and is unable to track him. But the standard B bounces a shell, pens a shell, and misses a shell. And now he's getting shot by something in the right. And it is a Sheridan. The Sheridan that he had put a couple shells into earlier. And now he's up to 6,500 damage just like that. And another HE shell flies past him. Looks like the Sheridan is not using the dirt because of that rate of fire. He's using the 105 firing HE. Fantastic. I don't... Okay, like, sure. Tries to get the gun down. He had it for a moment, but then it looks like his tank caught on the tracks or the hill or something. The gun bucked up, and he missed him. So, yeah. And that one tracks him, and that should be it for him now. No, he's got a repair kit. Oh, doesn't matter, 4,005. Puts it in, and he gets the assist damage for that as well. And in case you didn't notice, he also got the assist damage for the 1,750 damage the 4,005 did to the Panzerkampfwagen, which was pretty disgusting. Was it a Panzerkampfwagen, or was it the VK-72? I don't know. Either way, pretty much the same tank, just different guns. And there's the side of a mouse. Hello there, mouse. He's using the colorblind mode, and the colorblind mode is tough for me. Of course, I'm not colorblind, so that's why I don't use it. I use red, and I get asked a lot, why do you use red when, you know, there's probably colorblind people watching your videos. I'm like, I apologize for that. But for me to produce good quality content, I have to be also performing at quality, or as best I can, as well I can, you know. And if I'm using colorblind mode, I have a tough time distinguishing good guys versus bad guys. I'm just not used to it. And so when I see blue, I do not think, oh, bad guy. When I see red, I immediately think bad guy. And plus the red pops out better in this kind of a situation. See this outline he's aiming at? It's a whole lot easier to aim through green with a red outline, all that green foliage, than it is to aim through this purplish blue. It's almost, it's a lighter blue, but it's almost closer to purple. It's an interesting color. But I guess that's for people who can't distinguish between red and green. So that makes sense. Of course, like I said, I can, so I just can't use it. I mean, I could. It would be a learning curve. It would be kind of like if you suddenly decided to start using the square map after you've been using the small map for 40,000 games. It'd be a learning curve, and it'd be tough to do. It's the same thing for using a compass map after using a square map for 40,000 games. It's a learning curve, and it's tough to do. Of course, the best way to play, in my opinion, would be using both maps, being able to swap it in between quickly. But I personally don't do that. I'm bad at it, and I just stick with the circle. And there's nothing wrong with being a square map, nothing wrong with being a circle map. Like I said, we've had a video on the matter where we compared the win rate of both the compass and the square, and they were identical. It blew my mind. The win rate of the square and the compass are literally identical. So that's because you're in equal situations where you would want the square one, which would be in a game where he is in now. This is better for the square because he's fighting at longer range. And you're also in lots of situations where you would rather the circle one because you're closer combat or you need to react quicker to people popping up, like this E75. Where the E75 popped up, actually, believe it or not, it would have been better to have the circle one. But, you know, that's just conversation I'm making right now to, you know, fill in the gaps. As he's now up to 8,000 damage. How did that happen? I didn't even notice. He's just been doing damage over here. And yeah, he's up to 8,000 damage. And 2,700 assisted. Where did that come from? It's just been him paying attention to the map, putting shots into where he needs to be. Puts a shell in the turret ring there of the Patton, making one shot, and then the UDES finishes him off. And now he's up to 8,499 damage. And now he's got a nice underbelly. No, it goes in the upper plate, bounces off the E75 there. It had nothing to do with loaded dice, as the streamers who I was watching the other day would have probably blamed that on. Like, oh, that was all because of loaded dice. I bounced off his lower plate. No, you didn't hit him in the lower plate. You hit him in the upper plate. But I'm sure our FV4202 HalfDragon knows that. And he's now aiming a shot at the cupola. Sorry, they really bugged me. Super Unicums always... I don't even think they were Super Unicums. I think they're just regular wannabe. Always making up excuses. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. It's fun to watch and make fun of him. Anyway, he's going after the E75 now, and he's going to close the distance, which is the right play here. He's got a friend behind him who's also following him. E75 disengaged, and that gives him the time to get right up underneath him, which he's doing. Fires a shell for the lower plate. E75 pulls on the brakes, pulls back, and the shell does not connect. And now he's going to be using his gun depression here, which is going to give him an advantage. But he's got a mouse friend who pens him in the turret. That's not good. He needs that health if he wants to win this game, as artillery is still in the game, and so is a tank destroyer. Which tank destroyer is it? I didn't catch. Maybe, oh, it's spotted now on the other side. Okay, his tank destroyer, if he can put a big hit here into the E75, I believe, yes, it's an FV4202. Sorry, FV4005. And He can take a hit from this guy, but he's got to be careful. Gonna go for the tracks. He does track him. Nice setup. 1100 damage, 1150. He is shooting his AP shells now, but that's okay. Gets finished off for free there by the FV4202. And now, oh boy, a mouse shows up, and he's got no premium rounds. He's got to get around him and start putting shells in, and he does. He gets to his side, and now he's going to start circling him. And not much the mouse can do. The best thing for the mouse to do is actually drive away from him and turn the gun. Turning the hull and the turret probably won't be able to catch up to the FV4202, but if he drives and turns, he might be able to catch up to him. But he's not doing that. He's kind of driving, and then he's moving the turret, and then he's driving again. And now he's moving the turret and turning the hull, but not very much turning the hull. And now he's driving. See, this is what he should have been doing right here. This actually makes it a little bit harder for the FV4202 to get around him and makes him have to actually maneuver. But now, oh, he takes the shell on the side. I would have, if I was the FV4202, of course. It's very easy to judge when you're watching somebody else play because you're not thinking about every little detail going on around you. I would have stayed behind that dead body, tried to get the guy to miss, and then put a shell in. But now he is a one-shot for whoever this tank destroyer is, and easily splashable by the Bat-Chet artillery. So this is going to be difficult for him. He's loaded up HESH shells. He knows something we don't know. He clearly knows what tank he's going up against. I don't. If he has pressed his back button or his, what is that thing, like the trackpad on the PlayStation 4 button, I missed it. I didn't catch who it was. I'm sure he did. But he's looking around, looking for this guy. Where could he be? He's up to 10,000, by the way, damage. It is an Iron Rain at 100 health. Alright. This is going to be difficult. Artillery is going to be aimed. There's one shell from artillery. Where's the next one? Where is it going to be? He's going to be pulling away this way. Where's the shell going to land? Where is it going to be? Right behind him, narrowly missing him. And now he is now in a position where he has the advantage on the Iron Rain because he has a turret, good turret armor, and gun depression. He's going to be putting this straight into him. He's got a nice easy shot. There it is. Oh, he missed. The Iron Rain actually pushed. And the FV4202 was not expecting that. The Iron Rain's going to get the gun down any minute now. And he does. Oh, he bounces off. But the FV4202 does not penetrate with his HESH shell into the side of the tank because of the tracks. But now it's checkmate. He goes down on 1 hit point with the HESH shells. I would have had APCR loaded, I think, for the Iron Rain. But it is what it is. He gets away with it. And the last shell from the artillery does, in fact, miss. And now he finds himself in a 1 versus 1 against an auto-loading artillery unit. And, well, unfortunately for him, because of loaded dice, he's more likely to roll around with his HESH 485 damage. And, or is it 480 is the alpha in this thing? I don't know. I think maybe it is 480. Regardless, he needs 490 to kill this Bat-Chet artillery. So, he may not one-shot him. It's going to be a little bit harder because of loaded dice. Like I said, you tend to roll closer to average, but he just needs to roll 10 high. That's it. That's all we're asking for, game. All your other HESH shells that he's fired this game have not rolled high at all. Can he get one nice high roll in the HESH? In the HESH. With HESH, should I say. Now he's made his way into town. A bit of driving. We cut it out. His engine, of course, is busted. He thinks he's in this corner. Where could he be? Be careful not to knock anything down. You don't want to let him know you're coming. His heart is pounding. It's at 1,462 miles an hour. Where could he be? Around this corner, perhaps? There he is! Oh, he pulls forward a little too far. He puts the HESH shell in. He rolls! 482, leaves on 8 hit points. And oh, no! Artillery finishes him off. But let's take a look at that again real quick. So here he is rolling around the corner. I think he just didn't expect him. As you can see, he turned his gun away. I think what might have happened there was he looked down for a split second off of his screen. And that might have cost him there. I think he looked down, got distracted by something. The way he looked away for a moment with his gun. You saw him look towards the right. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. What can you do? He's at 84%. He says he's 3-marked it, or I think he said he was about to 3-mark it. So, very good game. If you keep having games like this, you should get there no problem. 11,400 damage plus 4,000 assisted. 15,000 combined damage. Of course, he gets the ace tanker. Top Gun. Fantastic game. Well played to you in your FV4202. Thanks so much for sending this in, HalfDragon. And I hope you guys all enjoyed it too. It was a nice high damage game where he played well. I think that's something everybody's been looking for until just that very end. A little bit of, like I said, it looked like he might have got distracted by something in the real world. I don't know, maybe a male lady walked by or something. Anyway, that's it. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, slap that like button, comment, subscribe, let them know that you like the video. And like, hey, thanks for the replay, HalfDragon. Let them know in the comments below. Make sure you go check out SpaceBANDIT, Koala Mentality's YouTube's links in the description below. And I'll be seeing you guys all later. Take care, everyone, and peace out.